Neftella, not Nefty, Neftella Espada versus Molly Wood. Ms. Wood appears with Ms. Foyle, her attorney. Mr. Espada continues to be self-represented. This is Butler County District Court, case number 2025 DM 166. This is a paternity case. The Camden is at least 14 if he hasn't turned 15.
15.
But apparently the parties co-parented sufficiently, or the truth of the matter is there just wasn't a paternity case filed until July of 2025. And I entered orders for mediation that was unsuccessful. And then I ordered them to go to domestic conciliation so that I could get recommendations. And I think I wanted something from the family therapist. Our last hearing, though, was 8/14 of 25. The Saturday visitations weren't going well.
Alright guys, let's break this down. This case opens with a judge already sounding tired of the chaos. A 15-year-old at the center, parents who've clearly been clashing for years, and multiple failed attempts at mediation. That alone tells you everything. When a court has tried this many interventions and still gets nowhere, it's not miscommunication, it's dysfunction.
I ordered them to go to Dawn Beffert for domestic conciliation. Overnights with mom on Saturdays. Dad to forward counselor's information. Mom to sign a release with family therapist. And I don't know what all you've received, Miss Foyle. This morning, I received a letter from Camden, which I did not request, and some grades, which aren't great, from Mr. Espada. I hope you received those.
I did not.
They forwarded them on the email as well to her.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't received them if you were talking about forwarding them to me.
No, to Miss Foyle.
Oh.
I'm looking at the 8/12 of 25 Meadowlark Counseling report as well. Did you have that before the last hearing? That's about all I have. So, Ms. Foyle, is there any additional evidence you wanted the court to review or that was available?
Your Honor, I don't have the grades or the letter from Camden.
Amy, would you forward those to her, please?
And I can present evidence of the text messages for the visitation at this time, but they're still not going very well. In fact, there has been the last 3 scheduled visits have not occurred. And I can report that I did speak to Don Befort, the domestic conciliator, and to get that started and set up. I had reached out to her previously and finally got a response back yesterday. So she's got a schedule on that.
Dad, I don't have any updated therapist information involving Camden. Where's that at?
I should have sent it on the email today. I don't know if they go through. I email through my phone, not a laptop, so I might have a little trouble with that. But I mean, I tried to send that to you too, as well, with all the other information.
Okay, well, I think Amy printed out everything she got from you, and I don't have that, and I need that. That was ordered today.
Yeah.
Now the cracks start showing fast. Missing documents, emails that didn't go through, and 3 missed visitations. That's not a scheduling issue. That's a breakdown in cooperation. The father looks unprepared, the mother's side looks frustrated, and the judge is quietly clocking all of it. This is how cases spiral, small failures stacking into bigger credibility problems.
Ms. Hoyle, I guess you're going to have to serve him with a contempt citation if he's not following the court's order on visitation, and we'll have to have a contempt hearing.
Your Honor.
Yeah, sure. I don't know what to tell you, Mr. Espada, but I granted you residential
Yes, sir.
even though you enrolled him against court orders or where you weren't given permission in Hutch. You've stayed in Hutch. I've given mom some time. I've emphasized how important it is for kids to work through issues with their parents, and that he needs to have time with both parents and not be estranged from one or the other. And he wasn't supposed to be involved in the litigation. And
He's not involved with that. That was from his therapist, said that was something he should do. And Your Honor, when I did the visitations, she had her overnight. She was arrested for, well, it's still being going through I mean, they haven't pressed charges, but it's in front of, I think it's Brett Sweeney's desk. She was arrested for driving under the influence and child endangerment is what I've been told by my son. Called me during that visitation late at night to come pick him up because his mom was being arrested.
The judge shifts tone here. Less patience, more warning. On contempt is now on the table, which means this isn't just messy anymore. It's potentially punishable. Then the father drops a serious allegation about the mother, and suddenly this isn't about missed visits. It's about safety. The entire direction of the case starts tilting in real time.
well, if that's true, Ms. Hoyle, that is a problem. And that would be justification for termination and getting her into some sobriety testing program and confirming that she's in treatment. So has your client been arrested for DUI and endangerment? And was it during a visitation that she was exercising?
It was
Yes,
8:30.
there was an arrest. She was never charged. And yes, it was during a visitation.
Okay, well, just because she hasn't been charged doesn't mean that she won't be. So we've got a problem.
Judge, I got arrested for driving on suspended is what it was. The person I was with was intoxicated, and I felt like I was in a catch-22. Me and my kid in danger, or me drive knowing I shouldn't. And I drove, and when I got pulled over, I told the officer not to let her drive with my child in the car because she was intoxicated. That was why I was driving. That's when he arrested me for child endangerment. the DUI because we watched her get out of the car, almost fall over, try to get in the car, couldn't get in the car, and he let her drive off with my children. And my child was in the car and I lost
Okay.
it on him.
Well, I can't imagine that, but it should be all on his lapel mic. It should be all on his body cam. I would suggest you get a lawyer.
It is, Judge. I had court 5 days after being arrested and no charges were filed. I went to court and it was no charges. You're free to go.
All right. Well, it sounds like it's still chaos in your life. And he doesn't like it. He doesn't want to be part of it.
Your Honor, I did
Well-
try to give her visitation last weekend. I thought maybe I'd give her a chance. And I messaged and
This is the explosion point. An arrest during visitation, claims of DUI and child endangerment, and two completely different versions of what happened. Nobody looks clean here. The judge doesn't buy the chaos, but recognizes the risk. Once law enforcement gets involved around a child, the court stops playing nice and starts thinking about damage control.
to see, because apparently she moved. So I just wanted to update on her address. So I just felt comfortable giving her the visitation. And her response to me was, "Do you need to get it from my lawyer?" I emailed her, which I probably should have, but it was, I wanted him to see how it went this time. But she wanted me to get it through her lawyer, and I said that I didn't feel comfortable giving her the visitation without knowing the address where I'm going to leave my son.
Okay, Ms. Foyle,
Judge.
has your client moved? Okay, both of you need to be quiet for a minute. Ms. Foyle,
I
has your client
My
moved?
client has a mailing address that's different than her physical address, and I think that there was some confusion as to where she was living, but I did send that over to him as to the specific address. I do not believe that she's moved.
Ms. Wood, are you still out at the lake? It looks like you're,
I'm in Augusta. I'm still in a camper.
okay.
And Judge, him responding to me about picking my son up and my address, me telling him to contact my lawyer, was 20 minutes after he was supposed to meet me, and I had left. I was there waiting for my child.
Okay, well, we need to, I'm going to suspend visitation and have an in-person trial. And Mr. Spada, I would suggest if you have strong feelings about this and your son has strong feelings, that you get an attorney so that you can subpoena the appropriate people, including his counselor. I've got to have a professional testifying with regard to his best interests
Yes, ma'am.
in order to do any long-term suspension of visitation.
Yes, ma'am.
Now it turns into instability versus structure. The mother's living situation raises eyebrows. The father questions basic safety. Oh, and communication between them is practically non-existent. The judge steps in and pulls the emergency brake. Visitation suspended. That's not a light move. That's the court saying, we don't trust this situation right now.
And I would suggest, Ms. Wood, that you look into individual counseling if you're not in it. And get a hair follicle for alcohol. And we'll see about some sobriety testing.
Judge, alcohol wasn't involved, but that's fine.
Well, it's just, if you're surrounding yourself with people that you got to fight with to drive, their vehicle and they're that drunk and he's got to be around all these drunk people.
He wasn't in
That's
the
just as
vehicle.
bad as not as bad as you being drunk, but it's still the same chaos that caused the change of custody and the issues to begin with.
Judge, the chaos isn't, this is different than what changed or what caused him to get my child. The reason I'm in a camper is because I could have gone to a woman's shelter with my children because of the situation I was in with my mother. And instead I had an opportunity.
I understand that. I understand that you've had some significant problems and I wasn't blaming them all on you. But he is voicing at 15 years old concerns about your lifestyle and how you treat him and some pretty significant things. And then I find out about arrest.
Is there, I've talked to Elena about this. I have a video recording because I received a message and a 2.5-hour phone call about what's really happening over there. How do I present that? Or who do I present that to?
Well, talk to your attorney because I'm going to schedule a trial and that's where all the evidence needs to be exchanged in advance and brought to the courtroom. All right, I'm going to look to see if we can make this happen in 25. All right. Mr. Espada, before I forget, I want your son to get some tutoring.
Okay.
Judge,
I need that counseling information. No more interruption. No more talking without your attorney. Ms. Hoyle, how does your Friday, November 14th look?
I still have it's still on the calendar. I think it's supposed to be going away, but I've got a hearing in the Veterans Court that Friday. I'm hoping that one kind of gets bumped, but it hasn't bumped. They just sent an email that they didn't bump it.
Okay. What about December the 15th?
I have a hearing at 2:15 that day. Otherwise, I can be available in the morning.
You have a what? 2:15?
I have a 2:15 hearing.
Okay. Where's that at?
It's on Zoom it's in front of Judge Journey in Sedgwick County.
Okay. So you could do it from here if you have your computer and stuff in one of our rooms. Okay. All right. I'm going to schedule this case for trial Monday, December the 15th at 9 a.m. I'm temporarily suspending mom's visits. Mr. Spada again. unless you have the wherewithal, you need to produce evidence of prosecution, evidence of conviction, maybe officer's testimony or reports, reports from the counselor. You may contact the court in advance for permission to bring your son when it gets closer to time, and I'll decide he cannot be in the courtroom, but we have some conference rooms he could sit in that I may request counsel to allow me to visit with him privately or with a court reporter, whatever's requested. And then whatever you have, Ms. Wood, with regard to coaching or things in his household, you can bring to the court, and I can try to sort all of this out once and for all. I would prefer to have something where there is visitation and co-parenting rather than all or nothing, which seems to be how things keep working. But I will just have to take in the evidence that I get that day and make a definitive decision for him moving forward, what's in his best interests. And it's up to each of you to present compelling evidence to convince me one way or another.
Your Honor, are we still under the order for the domestic conciliation?
Yes, I want them to try that, but if she screens them, not even so much domestic violence type screening, but where she believes that, they just can't be in a room together, then she may have to let us know that too. If she can't do it separately by Zoom, or she's concerned about keeping control of the clients, then she's going to have to let me know. But yeah, I think conciliation would be some third-party insight and recommendations that I could have hopefully by December 15th. If both parties participate, which I ordered them to do, and get going with it. And that person will hear both sides and do some independent questioning, and maybe talk to your son and give the court recommendations as well, which is generally helpful and generally required in most courtrooms before you have a custody trial. But I just can't seem to get a handle on this case, which is why I feel like I need to give you a trial date, and us be in person in the courtroom and under courtroom protocols. I need you to exchange all evidence and witnesses that you intend to call by December 5th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Amy, were you able to find the therapist report?
And Miss Hoyle had responded saying that she was going to try to obtain one yesterday, but I'm assuming she wasn't able to obtain one because we don't have one.
Well, Mr. Spada said it was part of what he forwarded to us.
No, the only thing that I have received from him was what I printed out earlier.
Okay.
It must have not went through. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, I want you to try again with the therapist update
Yes, ma'am.
and send it to Miss Hoyle and myself so she has that ahead of time.
Yes, ma'am.
And you or your attorney, if you get one, can arrange Miss Hoyle. I tried to print it this morning, and I think it's waiting for me to plug my computer hardwired back in to my printer. so that I can see the adoption of the new court rule, but there is a court rule on requesting Zoom appearances. So if we have a therapist that has to appear by, in a hybrid fashion where we're in person, but elicit testimony by Zoom, you have to follow that new procedure. But generally, I do allow that upon request within reason.
Okay.
And I'm not going to do a pretrial conference at this point because I find that they don't come together with pro se folks. So if he hires a lawyer and then I may request that you come up with the pretrial conference order beforehand, and we have a conference if we need one. But otherwise, I think just an exchange of witnesses and exhibits will be probably the best we'll get for the trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything further today?
No, Your Honor.
No.
All right. Then we are adjourned. Thank you.
From here, it's all about control and consequences. The judge lays out a strict path. Trial date set, evidence required. Professionals must step in. Both parents are told in no uncertain terms to get their act together. This is no longer about stories. It's about proof. And come trial day, whoever brings the stronger case wins the child's future. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.